My guest today is Shannon Hernandez, the creator of the Content Personality Wheel. Hello, Shannon, and welcome to the brandtuned podcast.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Well, tell us a bit more about your background and what you do, Shannon. I'd love to know.
Yeah, so I am a marketing strategist, but not any old marketing strategist. I chose a long time ago to brand myself as the joyful marketing strategist.
Oh, wow, that's so lovely.
Yeah, because I love marketing, but most people don't. So I thought, how can I bring more joy to people's lives through their marketing? So I've been doing that for about 7 years. Prior to that, I was a New York City public school teacher, and I was teaching in inner city Harlem, 8th grade. So they kept me on my toes, taught me how to tell good stories and
So
keep
how did
order
you
in the
move
classroom.
from that to marketing? Did you take some training in marketing or what?
No, I think, I always get this question. It's like the most popular question is, how do you go from an 8th grade teacher to a marketing
Yeah.
strategist? And I was in a tested subject area. So I had to teach these 8th graders who were given to me, at a 3rd and 4th grade reading and writing level, and get them to pass a test so they could get into high school. That was like my sole job at the end of the day. And I just learned how to communicate really well, how to speak on their level, how to help them, like relate it to them, and they would do it, right? Like that's pretty much like what marketing is. Relate it to the people who need your help and they'll buy from you. So I had a lot of practical practice in the classroom. And, it wasn't like, I don't want to say it wasn't quick, because I did build my business rather quickly. I came out of a $70,000 year teaching position after 15 years. And I thought, gosh, if I can just make 70,000 in the first year, like I know I can do this. And I had made 100,000 within the first 6 to 8 months. And so I knew, like in a past lifetime, I must have been really awesome at this. And I just kept building on my strengths, which are teaching, training, inspiring, and like breaking down marketing into simple concepts that people get. And that's pretty much what I did in the classroom all day long.
Well, so you left your job. Why did that happen? How did it?
I was getting really burnt out. The US school system, it's all about testing at the end of the day. And they had made a move in New York City specifically that final year when I just it was the straw that broke the camel's back. They had made the move to tie our salary to the test scores.
Wow.
And on the one hand, you'll get people that say, yes, teachers are responsible for their students' success. And I do believe that to a degree. But on the other hand, you're giving me students at a 3rd and 4th grade reading level, asking me to be like God in 45 minutes a day. And they've got all this other stuff going on in their lives. Like many of my students were taking care of parents who were addicted to drugs. They were taking care of their siblings. They were the parent, and that was their first responsibility. And then they were a student when it fit in, right? So it wasn't an ideal situation to put that on me particularly. Like I wrote a book about this, me particularly, that did not feel good to me. And teaching just kind of lost its allure through the lens of testing and giving us these unrealistic demands. So my joy is always my priority. And I'm like, I'm out of here. I'm going to go build something fun and be able to teach people around the world. And that's what I've done for 7 years.
So tell me, how did you start your business then? I mean, tell us all about it.
Yeah, I got on Facebook and I said, I'm going to start a business. I don't know what to do. Who has an idea? Literally, that's what I did. And I said, I think I need a coach, but I didn't even know what coaching was back then. Like I wasn't in the realm of coaching, right? And someone reached out to me and she said, I think you should talk to this lady named Anastasia. And she helps people figure out what they want to do in their business. and build a business around that. And that is where I started. I hired a coach, I hired a virtual assistant, I hired a website designer to do my branding before I had any clients. And to this day, I know that mindset is what has helped me have this business that I have now.
Effectively, you created the brand and everything without having any clients. And I mean, it must have been hugely challenging. Who did you target?
Well, in the beginning, I had some friends in the wedding industry.
Mm-hmm.
And so I asked, can I come speak to your groups? Can I come speak about marketing and blogging? Like blogging was really big 7 years ago, right? Can I come speak at your conferences? And that's where I got my first start. And then one of them recommended me to the Bed and Breakfast Association of Pennsylvania. And they brought me in year after year. And many of those people have just referred me out. So I'm in a couple of what I would say niche industries, but I have expanded since then, because what was appealing to coaches and consultants around the globe was a fresh perspective on marketing, marketing from a place of joy, marketing from a place of, we have a mantra, if it ain't joyful, we ain't doing that shit. And that caught on because people were like, I don't want to do like video. I don't want to do blogging. And I'm like, you don't have to. Like, there's a million ways that we can get your message out there in a way that's joyful and profitable. And that was the branding that spread like wildfire.
What made you think of it? I mean, come up with it. So what was your name? The Joyful?
I'm a joyful marketing strategist. So that's my title. You know, this lady called me one day for a consultation. And this was before I had developed the content personality quiz, which you mentioned at the beginning of the show. And that conversation changed me. That conversation changed me a lot. And in essence, she called me, she wanted a strategy session. She was talking about a book that she was going to write. She wanted some help brainstorming some ideas. And when I got her on the phone, you could just tell, like, she wasn't happy about this. Like, there was no joy around it. And so I said, her name was Kathleen. I said, Kathleen, what's going on here? And she said, I don't want to write this book. Like, I'm in this year-long coaching program. I knew when I signed up, writing a book was part of it. We're all going to California. We're getting locked in our hotel room for 3 days, and we got to come out with the manuscript. And she was crying at that point. And I thought, oh, she has given her power away. Like, she does not want to do this.
Short.
What's that?
Life is too short.
Life is too short. And so that night, you know, actually what I told her is, I'm like, you should not write this book. You should not go to California. There's no joy in this. You're going to be fine without a book, I promise. And I'm not going to help you generate topics because it's not even like what you want to be doing. And that was like my first stake in the ground of really saying to somebody, like, we're not doing this. Like, life is too short to do these things. And I laid in bed that night and I didn't sleep. That conversation changed me. And I got out of bed and I drew the content personality wheel, which is a simple circle with 5 segments. And in a matter of 3 minutes, coaches and consultants around the globe have taken this quiz and figured out what their dominant marketing personality is. And it has changed people's lives. And it has changed my life, because my life, I used to think, oh, I'm great at writing. And I am. I'm a writer. I'm an author. I love writing. I love blogging. I love that. But that is not what sells me. At the end of the day, what sells me is interviews, teaching, and showing up and doing quality trainings. And that's video and live in person. So when I took my own advice from the quiz and I switched to my dominant marketing content personality, my entire business changed. But that was the conversation that changed things for me.
So what sort of clients were coming forward to get your help in the very early days?
Oh, it was a lot of new coaches and consultants. And I know that's a big like a big range of things, but I have not niched further than that. I have interior designers in my programs. I have health coaches. I have business coaches. I have spiritual coaches. I have executive coaches and career coaches. And I have consultants that consult people on color theory and like you name it. What attracted them was the message of, if it ain't joyful, we ain't doing that shit.
Yeah.
And I think it speaks to just if you would think about your journey, like as a business owner and in the online space, like we heard for years, and you've probably been doing this a lot longer than I have, but we've heard for years, it's like, to be successful, you have to write a book. You have to embrace video. You have to, and it's always like, actually, you don't. Like, let's not push people out of alignment. So that has been my core message for years, which has attracted people from all around the world who want to have fun in their marketing, who want to show up in their zone of genius and make money, signing their ideal clients.
Right. I come across a lot of entrepreneurs who say they are actually introverts and they don't want to be out there, the face of the business. So how would they manage in this sort of world where you've got to be very visible?
Yeah, I am so glad you asked this. I actually realized about 20 months ago, I was an introvert operating as an extrovert. And I could not figure out why I kept crashing. It was a cycle of lots of excitement, like push energy, if you will, not pushing me out of alignment, but just lots of people, lots of excitement. I did lots of events, when we could hold events. I did these things and then it would be great. And I'd be on this energetic high and I'd love it. And then it'd take me 2 weeks to like pick myself up again off the couch. And I thought, what is going on here? I love what I'm doing. I love this. And I actually got some coaching around energy management. And through that process and several assessments and just really looking at my background and my history, I was pushed out of introvert in my child rearing by my parents and into extrovert. And so I had just adapted and just learned to operate that way, if you will. And it was exhausting. So I was like 41 and I'm like, I can't do this anymore.
Really? So how did you change then? You seem fairly extrovert now.
Yeah, I know people always say that. I am the most extroverted, if you will, when I get to talk to people and I'm inspired by teaching. And so what changed for me is I don't do much else. My energy goes towards interviews or interviewing people, which I equally love, and showing up and teaching and training. And then I can turn it all off and I can go regroup and relax again and store my energy reserves. But I have a lot of people who come to me because last year I actually started talking about the transition from extrovert to introvert. And there's so many ways introverts can stay in their joy, can stay in their power and market their business without crashing. And you don't have to be visible, right? Like a lot of introverts, when they take my quiz, actually they realize they're like, oh God, I'm video. I can't do this. Like that's their first reaction is their video and live in person. But when you're in your zone of genius as an introvert or an extrovert, and you've protected your time and you have the boundaries for replenishing your energy and such, you can go do video, you can show up and speak if you're wanting to do that, right? And so to me, introvert and extrovert isn't about visibility. It's about how are you using your energy and how are you replenishing so every time you show up, you feel good, you look good, you sound good, and you're able to reach the people who need your help.
So does that mean you don't do speaking? Because that's not really interviewing people, is it?
I do speak.
You do.
Yeah.
You like, I guess you're used to it through teaching.
Yeah, the teaching. Listen, when you got 90 eighth graders a day staring at you, expecting like, I don't know, unicorns, like,
Yeah.
like I became a really good storyteller and a really good, I can just get off the cuff and just teach anything. I mean, not anything. I need to know what the heck I'm doing. But yeah, teaching prepared me a lot for speaking and for workshopping and the things that I love to do today in my business.
You were attracting what, new businesses, new clients?
I was attracting pretty new people in the beginning, and it
What
makes sense.
what did you do for them? Was it one-to-one or?
Yeah, I built my business one-to-one initially. Then I capped out. I continue to cap out. It doesn't matter how much I charge. Like they just pay one-on-one. We're enrolling people for January. It's like, so over the years, I've been taking all the work that I do one-on-one, of course, and I have a high-level mastermind for like business owners that are 6 figures and above. And then I have a group program called the Confident Expert Program. And that's for people who are under 6 figures and they really want some help, like building the foundation of a great business structure and one that is rooted in joy and marketing that, you know, fills their practice or their group program. So I did start one-on-one initially.
Right. So they have workshops or videos to watch? How does it work? Your various
One-on-one or group program? Which one?
well, from the very start. So say somebody discovers you, what would they do as the first step?
Well, if they're one-on-one client, we meet on Zoom and we hash out things, and then they have homework and they go and do their homework and then they come back, probably very much like people's one-on-one practice. My group program is we have a portal of library content that's been pre-recorded, and they're about 20 minutes each. So they go in, they have like a syllabus. It's very organized. So, you know, when we went to college, we loved to know what was coming next and what we were supposed to be doing. So they have a syllabus of the curriculum. They watch their, whatever it is that they're needing support on at the time. And then we have a call every week. A live call. So I do 2 of those calls, and then I have a coach who works with me and she does 2 of those calls. And it is a beautiful blend of self-paced learning and like in-person support, which I have found makes the best group programs with the best results. Like people need a place to ask and answer questions and get some coaching. So that's how that program is set up on the inside.
Right. So what's the outcome they're going to get? Is it that they're going to be clear on their content, or, you know, what?
Yeah. So in the Confident Expert Program, the outcome is we're going to work on their messaging, which is always the basis of marketing, right? Yeah. So we help them with their messaging. We help them find marketing that's joyful for them. And that's through the content personality quiz. And then, you know, helping them develop a marketing plan or a little marketing strategy, tracking some results, seeing what's getting results. We help them learn what I call the art of invitation selling. So I teach a process called invitation selling. It's how I built my business. So reaching out, you know, being the invitation, hosting those powerful sales conversations, and using story to really base the marketing out of, because at the end of the day, people love a good story. And this is why podcasts and video shows and all of that, people love it. They love to tune in and hear a story of whatever from point A to point B. So we really teach story marketing within my program. And our students, our coaches and consultants, they, most of them, I'm not going to say all, that wouldn't be true. Most of them fill their client practices, re-enroll for a lifetime studentship, and have a community to grow with forever. And we are super proud of that, because if you know anything about group programs, the attrition rate is really low. Usually the success rates are pretty low, but we have kind of tweaked over the years to help people get really good results and want to be part of our family and just continue the joyful marketing family as they grow their businesses.
And how many in a group?
We have right now 40 in that program. They come in cohorts. So next week I'll be doing another workshop week. That's how I enroll people. And they'll come in as a cohort, and then if they renew, it's a 4-month program. If they renew, they have lifetime membership. By then they're just like happy and they know what they're doing, and they stick around and they refer people and they bring other people in. So we try and enroll 10 people a quarter. That's really our goal. We found it's the magic spot of like enough new energy to like keep everyone excited and keep me fresh, right? Because new energy keeps me fresh and keeps me on my toes. And then we have about 7 or 8 out of those 10 re-enroll for a lifetime. So we've just played with the structure over the years to see what works.
So they might all be actually focusing on different things. You don't take them through a program whereby they have to focus on first things first.
Well, we do have it ordered. So messaging, story marketing, invitation selling, hosting a sales call, onboarding. So we do have it, but they come in at different places. Some people, we're actually attracting more established. So people making like $3,000 a month, and they want to get up to more than that, right? So what we want is that everyone already considers themselves an expert in their subject matter. Of course, we can get better at it. But like, if you're a health coach and you're health coaching on diabetes, I'm trusting that if you come into my program, you know your content, because we're going to take that and just like figure out how to explode that for you through your marketing. So what I love about it and the feedback that we get is they don't, have you ever joined a program where it's dripped content? So week 1, you can only watch this, and week 2, you can only watch this, and it only opens up. We don't do that, because some of our people come in and they feel great on their messaging and they want to go right to selling. And so they might work on the selling modules and the selling section of the content, and then get some sales and then go back. And we continue to get like, that's one of the best features of the program, is that the content isn't locked and dripped out to them.
Often it's because people have a money back guarantee, and therefore they don't want to reveal the whole course before the 30 days or whatever is up. Do you have a money back guarantee? No.
We do not.
No.
In fact, we say, I don't know the exact words on the website, but there is an FAQ. Can I get my money back? And we say, you cannot get your money back. What you can do is be 100% committed to coming in and doing the work, and you will see the results. And we hardly ever have anyone ask for their money back. And if they do, we just work with them. There's usually something else going on. And we just don't have that problem. And, there's a lot of things. This is a thing with me, I guess, in the marketing space. There's a lot of things like teaching those 8th graders I could not control. And for me to give people the money back option actually gives them an out and does not create the space for them to be successful. And so early on, I decided I'm not that person that's giving any money back. I'm going to work my ass off and help you get results. Because at the end of the day, that's what helps me grow, and it's what helps them grow their business.
Yeah, that's fair enough. It's really important when people are marketing that buyers should recognize them, so through their branding or consistent brand colors and icons and such like. Do you cover that at all to ensure they're not going to look different on different occasions? Because otherwise, if they're not recognized as them, then they're not going to get business coming to them, because I might see you one day, but if you do things in an inconsistent way with your brand, I may not actually recognize it's you next time I see your content. Are you actually focusing on them just being on their channels on social media so that I mean, how does that aspect of things work?
Yeah. Well, this is an interesting question. As part of how we evolved is we actually don't take anyone in the program that doesn't have a website developed.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why is because I'm not branding, I'm marketing and I'm thought leadership, and I can help you do your curriculum. Like, that's my zone of genius. And so, you know, people would come in early on when they were new, which is why we don't work with new coaches anymore.
Mm-hmm.
We love you if you're a new coach or consultant, but you got to be established a little bit. And they didn't have their website. They didn't have their colors. They didn't have any graphics. I'm like, this is not my zone of genius. Like, it's out of integrity for me to try and help these people.
Yeah.
So we shifted just a little bit the criteria. You have a website, because if they have a website, they have professional headshots, most likely. They have thought about their colors and they have some kind of design. So then we can just focus on the marketing, the content, and how they're showing up in their marketing. And that was a good evolution, I think, for us and for everyone else. It just kind of like raised the caliber of what was going on.
And is your content personality wheel, if that's what it's called, is that a sort of quiz that anyone can take, or how does that work?
Yeah, it's 7 questions, and it's pretty amazing, if I can say so myself. We've had thousands and thousands of people take it, and it's going to do one of 2 things. It's going to confirm what you already know and may not be doing, which is great. Maybe you'll decide to go do that, right? Or it's going to give you, I call it a plot twist. I had a call with somebody yesterday and she's like, oh my God, I think I'm written. I love to write. And then I told her my story about how I love to write too. And she messaged me on Facebook last night and she said, oh my God, I'm audio. Like, this makes so much sense now. Nobody's buying when I'm writing, but when I do my podcast or when I go on interviews, and I'm like, okay, so we need to build a marketing strategy around audio. So yes, in 3 minutes or less, you will know the results of how you're best going to show up. It's not what you may like the best. That's important, but how you best show up that people will buy from you. Because that's the essence of marketing at the end of the day, right?
Yeah.
It's like, let's hone in on what's going to work and help people find joy in that process.
Well, that's really interesting to hear how you transferred your skills so elegantly, really. So which brand, as a final question, do you particularly admire, Shannon, and why?
One?
One
out of the whole world?
Yeah.
Oh gosh. What a question. You know, I am so into Elizabeth Gilbert lately.
Elizabeth Gilbert.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I'm reading Big Magic for the 2nd time. I love the cover and the art. Like, it's just paint splotches, essentially, is what it looks like. And it's all branded together. Like, all of the stuff with Big Magic, the graphics look the same. And when she produces a new book, like, it's all tied so nice together. So she would be really like an author kind of person. The other one that I have fallen in love with is Whitney Freya. And she's an artist, and she teaches basically watercolor and acrylics. And I've taken several classes from her, but very much the same kind of vibe. If she's doing a 22-day meditation on owls, everything matches that 22 days. Like, you know, when you see it, oh, this is the thing on owls. Like, and it's smart, and it's really smart. And both of those has given me so much inspiration in my own branding over the last year. We've actually started creating graphic sets for different programs and promotions. And it's been a lot of fun to think in that way. Now, I say I have a graphic designer because you don't want me doing my own graphics. It would be a nightmare.
Yeah.
But it's been really nice to have, like, see that happen and have those consistent role models to model after.
Great. Really interesting. Thank you very much then, Shannon.
Thank you.
That's it for this week. Do subscribe to the brandtuned newsletter to get weekly updates. I'd also love to get your feedback. Just send me an email to info@brandtuned.com. Finally, if you liked the episode, please do share it with your friends and colleagues and review it on iTunes or whichever platform you use to listen to podcasts. If you leave us a 5-star review, it means more people will listen and we can spread the word much more quickly about the podcast. Thank you and bye for now.